It's late at night. You think you're safe. You turn the lights out, and then you hear a scream and shout. No one's home. You're alone. Lay back down, pull up your sheets. Your knees start to feel weak. You can feel your heartbeat. Is your door closed? You feel your feet exposed. Now you're in a state. It's much, much too late. You can't escape this deadly fate. Warning, the following podcast contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Welcome, my wicked fiends. This is Sinister Ghouls, Twisted Sisters, your paranormal true crime and everything creepy podcast. I'm your host, Ghoulie Gonzo, and I'm here with
Jojo Gonzo,
my co-host, my sister, Jojo Gonzo. So what we're going to talk about today is what the podcast is about pretty much, and some of our paranormal stories that we've dealt with.
Lots of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. So let's see. We're going to dive into it. We literally have lived in a haunted house our whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it just depends on who believes in what. Now, people can be skeptics. People can do whatever they want to do and believe what they want to believe.
But it's true.
Yes. or it's just true. Ask my sister. She'll tell you. She gets annoyed. She's the sweetest thing, you guys. You just don't even know. Oh, my God. So, yeah, we're new at this, if you can't tell. And we're really nervous.
Yeah.
So
super.
Be freaking nice. Let me just give a shout out as well. This is for adults. There will be swear words. There will be, gore, gruesome, whatever. So if you don't want any children listening,
don't let
edit that out. Edit it out. If you don't want any children to listen, don't let them. Okay, so why does the paranormal interest me as much as it does? Well, because I have no idea what's going on in my childhood house.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the things that we've dealt with is actually really scary. Like yes. 1 to 10, 10.
And I still live there.
She does. And so does my parents. Oh, our parents.
On the other side, yes.
Yes. But anyways, so what we're going to do is talk about clearing her freaking throat.
Cut that out.
Cut it out. Edit it. Renee, edit it out. So what we're going to talk about is like some of the stories that we, went through. And my sister has a couple, and one really, really terrifying one, but that's going to be saved
for another episode.
Our very first actual paranormal episode, which will be the next one. And just so everyone has heads up, that episode is going to be on sleep paralysis, shadow people, and the Hat Man. So be ready. Anyways, let's see what I can go into here. So we have an aunt in our family who I would say we would call her a bruja.
She is a bruja,
yes.
For sure.
We are, just so everybody knows, we are American, Mexican, Italian, Sicilian, Native Americans. And we do have some relatives that, are brujas. In other words, witches is what,
do things
called.
They shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one.
Yeah. Can go a lot of different ways. But we have an aunt who actually was so fun. I grew up, I was like 13, 14. So I always did sleepovers with her and my cousins. And, my sister, Jojo Ghoul here, was too young to, I was 14, she's 7. So, do the math. She's not having sleepovers with us.
No.
But,
kind of glad, honestly.
Yeah. Trust me. Yeah. So, anyways, so we would have, sleepovers on the weekends. It'd be myself and a couple cousins, or just me and a friend, and my aunt would always do the most fun things with us. Now, she also owned, ding, shocking, a Ouija board.
I love that, boom. It's so cool. A Ouija board. We all know what that is, right? And if you want my opinion, don't use one.
Never.
Don't do it.
Awful.
Absolutely. So, yeah, don't do it. Absolutely don't. But, no. So she always had a Ouija board or a psychic circle. And the psychic circle that she had, well, it's pretty much a Ouija board. So I don't
would say, what exactly is a psychic circle? Okay. I don't know.
So from what I remember, a psychic circle is like, earth, air, fire, water, and it's a board.
Yeah. Like the craft.
Yes. Oh, we love the craft.
The elements.
Mm-hmm. So, so there would be, the little, clear plastic thing in the middle. What do we call those again? Planchette. That's what it is. So,
that was
thanks, Renee. that was Poo Poo Ghoul, aka Jordan's wife.
That's my wife.
So
she's my wife.
So, anyways, the planchette. It's a round, clear, plastic, silver planchette. So, it does the same thing. There's letters. There's yes and no, but there's in the corners, the four corners, and you pretty much do the same thing you do with the Ouija board.
Mm-hmm.
So my aunt, owning a Ouija board and just being the cool aunt, and we were brought up with scary movies. We are absolutely into heavy metal, scary movies, tattoos, that's just kind of what we were brought up in. And scary movies are like literally the only thing I watch. I mean, I should probably try to watch more things.
Scary movies and true crime.
So anyways, so back to it. We're big into horror movies. And the very first horror movie that I can remember that scared the living shit right out of me was, you got it, The Exorcist. Yep. The Exorcist.
So scary.
Mm-hmm. And let's talk about how I watched that. My grandfather, my father's father, thought a 7-year-old could watch The Exorcist on a sleepover. And once I watched it and went home and told my mother, I watched a movie called The Exorcist, she was not very happy.
No.
Even though I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street at that age as well. But I would say The Exorcist
is different, though.
Yeah.
It's like real.
Yeah. Well, I guess a lot of people have different opinion on The Exorcist because The Exorcist, some people look at it like it's just funny. But a lot of those people, weren't brought up Catholic or Christian, or whatever. They just don't have that belief that, you can be possessed by, the devil.
I believe that you can be.
Listen, straight up, flat out, straight up. I literally absolutely believe in, heaven and hell, Jesus Christ, the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call him, Lucifer, whatever.
Yeah.
If there's good, there's bad. And I know a lot of people believe in positive and negative.
It's true. It's the balance of the world.
Mm-hmm. So I think that whatever's negative out there can absolutely do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So with the, the Ouija board, the thing that's creepy about it is you might think you're talking to somebody, that has passed, that you love, a friend, a family member. But in reality, a lot of the time, spirits or, negative entities or, they just kind of trick you. And they want that door to be open so they can, mess with you. Or
and anything can come through.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a door. It opens. And playing with things like that and maybe possibly doing a podcast like this.
Yeah, we've yet to figure out how to close it over there.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, there's things still to this day. Still, 25 years later, right? Even longer. Goes beyond that. But anyway, so my aunt always had, scary movies playing, Exorcist. It was the most fun sleepovers. So this specific one was one of the times that I was sleeping at her house. We're just going to call her Chris. We'll say Aunt Chris.
Aunt Chris.
And, I would go over there and know right away that we're going to watch The Exorcist. We're going to get pizza, soda. It's
so much fun, though. It sounds so fun.
Absolutely. And she had some cool friends. She just was the cool aunt. You couldn't wait. So this specific night, when I went to spend the night at her house, she had also a little boy. And I do believe he was there that weekend. The bagel night, y'all. So anyways, so this specific night, I don't know if he was there, and I'm not going to say his name. But I remember it was just her and I that night, and she had some friends over, and then she had gone to bed. So I am sitting on the couch and, watching The Exorcist,
Mhm.
probably 50% way, through it. And out of nowhere, the TV goes to that, fuzzy screen.
Mhm.
And so anyway, so I'm like, what the heck? So I get up to like back in the day. Listen, I'm not going to tell you my age, but we had a VCR.
Oh, that tells you right
Yes,
there.
the VCR. So I was like, oh, did it stop? I get up. We also didn't have a specific remote, I don't think, for the TV.
No, this was back in use
Hmm.
the TV itself to
Yes,
turn the
I think we had a a VCR remote, but not a TV one at her house. So whatever. So I went to get up to
So
check, and it turned back on. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I sat back down. Now on the table in front of me, I had a bagel, a half-eaten bagel, and a glass of something. I'm not gonna lie and say it was like soda or whatever, but it was definitely something along
you
the
had a
lines of
beverage.
I had a beverage, and it was on the table next to the plate with my bagel. And so I'm sitting down watching the movie again. Let's see, about 5 minutes after it had done that the first time, it does it again. This time I get up really quick, and it even went right back on quicker. I was like, okay,
It's
that's
so scary.
weird.
I
All
would
right.
shit my pants.
Yeah, well,
Let's not do that.
but my aunt Chris, in quotes, had already gone to bed, and I was like, it's not scary enough right now. I mean, this isn't the only story that has happened at her house. This is one of.
No, I have one too, but
There's
not as scary.
yeah. So I sit back down, and the second I sit back down, the lamp on the table next to me turns off. So it doesn't turn back on. And at that point I'm like, oh, so this is a thing that's happening. So the TV goes back to the shh again, and I'm not getting up this time to check it. And I
I wouldn't have.
slowly peripheral, like out of the corner of my eye, can see my bagel moving on my plate. Literally, like it was lifted off my plate and just dropped. And I'm not talking about, like, let's not exaggerate here, picking it up and throwing it. I'm talking about like slightly lifted, like moved from the plate, hitting the table a little, and then put it on, like dropped on the
like
ground.
it just definitely wasn't wind.
Yeah, absolutely not wind. And then the cup fell over and spilled all on the table. And then the TV turned back on, and so did the light.
It's so scary.
So I got up, with that feeling you get when you almost fall down the stairs and you like catch yourself.
Oh, like you get cold. It's like cold sweat.
Yes.
It's like your body takes a screenshot.
Yes, like you're.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely the greatest.
I heard that before
Shut
somewhere,
up.
and I was like, that explains that emotion so perfect.
Oh my god, your body. What is it? Body
takes a screenshot.
A screenshot. Help me, Lord.
Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome. Yeah, and your whole body goes like cold, and then you're sweating at the same time. Yeah. That's what I felt, and then my toes were tingling. Weird.
Oh, it's so scary.
Yeah, so I got up, went into my aunt's room, kind of told her what was going on, and I think I slept in there. I mean, I would imagine I did, right?
Probably.
I know I didn't go back out there and sleep anywhere near.
I would have called Mom to pick me up.
So, anyways, so that's one of the stories, and what's really insane is I still went and spent the night all the time.
Yeah, you loved it there.
Watched The Exorcist.
Well, because it wasn't
time.
that much different coming home either, though. Because
No.
she also is a child.
Oh, Aunt Chris.
Because it started in our house.
Oh, yes. Okay, so let me throw that out there. This house is, it's been in our family forever. So Aunt Chris lived, as a kid in this house as well, on this duplex side. But I mean, really, on both sides,
our whole family has all lived on both sides.
And literally, we have all had scenarios that have happened. And, and we do believe that it stems from, the Ouija board and messing with things and, all of our family and
it's
also I'm not perfect because
old house too.
Yeah, it is an old house.
Very like over 100-year-old house.
Yes, yeah. So anyway, so I still went and spent the night all the time, watched Exorcist, all that stuff. So that was one of my stories, and it was pretty creepy. And I know some of you are like BS, bull, whatever. It's totally fine.
That's
have
cool.
your opinion. Yeah, we don't really care.
No,
but we're just talking about what we experience, and you don't have to believe it, but you can listen to it. And if you don't want to, don't. That's up to you.
Yeah, then change the station.
Click, click, click. So yeah. So but anyway, so the other story I'm going to bring up is also something that happened at my aunt's house. And it literally was a night that her son was there. And I think he was maybe 5 or 6. I can't remember.
He was young.
Yeah. So, she's like, hey, me and so are going to go get the pizza. Blank, my son, is going to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let him get into the refrigerator because he wants soda. He's got to wait till the pizza's here. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever, no big deal. So, she runs a couple blocks to go get the pizza. And, I hear the back door and I hear him in the kitchen. And I'm like, hey, blank, you can't get into the refrigerator and get into the soda. Mom said you can't have soda right now. You can have it with the pizza or you can have milk. You can't get into the soda. And he was so mad. He swore. He was like, pretty much shit, whatever. I don't even know. He was a funny little punk ass, to be honest. But he's still a punk ass right now. A grown ass one.
Yeah.
But but anyway, so then I heard the door close. And I was like, all right. So he went out back to play again. Now, I don't know. Now, mind you, this happened like probably between 5 and 10 minutes after my aunt, quote, Chris had left.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he came in. So he went back out. And then like 5 minutes later, not even, he comes walking in the front door. And I was like, oh, okay. So he walked around the front. And then, my Aunt Chris came in. And I think one of my cousins, I can't really be sure. But I'm like, oh, my gosh. So, your son, blank, got into the refrigerator, was trying to get in his soda.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him no. And, he sounded so mad. And he was kind of swearing a little bit. And, and she's just looking at me like,
you're nuts.
I'm out of my mind. And I was like, what? Like, what? Like, I didn't know what was going on. She goes, oh, honey, so-and-so ended up coming with us.
Yeah. So scary.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to do a boom. But no. So I was
that
like,
story always gives me like
the goosies.
Yeah.
The
creepy
goosies.
crawly feeling.
Ooh, creepy crawlies. That's exactly what it does. So anyways, yeah, when she said that, I kind of looked at her and I was like, wait. He wasn't here? And she said, no, honey, he came with us, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh. So, that feeling of, what is it? A body screenshot?
Your body taking a screenshot, yeah.
Totally came over me again.
Yeah, that boom sound, too, was perfect for when she said, no, he was like a movie.
Yes, boom. Yeah, and I just was like, are you freaking kidding me? Okay, I kind of let her know. I don't know if she even remembers this, but boy, it was insane.
I don't know. It's crazy, though.
Mm-hmm. But her house, always creeped me out. But I loved it. Like, I loved it.
Because it was fun. But, we're, like, kind of used to all of it, too.
Listen,
so it's scary,
really
but it's kind of just like, well.
Oh, well, yeah.
You were scared for a night or two, and then you just move on with your life.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all of her houses were pretty creepy. She had some really cool houses. There's 3 specific. One, by where we live, which we're not going to explain because we don't want anyone to know where we live. And then the other one is pretty close in proximity. But then there's another one that was really cool, like up on a hill. And that one is specifically one of the creepiest ones to me.
It is.
My friends also, loved sleeping at Aunt, quote, Chris's house. And I had a friend, let's call her, I'm going to say Lucy because I think it's cute.
Is this who I'm thinking of? Okay, yeah, that's
yes.
what I thought.
So one night she came over and spent the night with me. So my Aunt Chris, would always put on TV and mute it and then talk over the TV like she's those people. And it was the funniest thing.
That is.
It was so funny.
Bad lip reading.
Yes. So we did that for a while. And then we made Rice Krispie treats and ate it out of the pan. I mean, it was so fun.
No, that is so fun.
Yeah. So it was so fun. And then that, specific night, my Aunt Chris went up to bed and she had an upstairs in this specific place. Now, this is probably maybe 3 years after the incident with the kitchen and her son and the pizza.
Oh, this was later.
This was later. Yeah. Okay. So I was a little older. But anyways, so yeah. So my friend Lucy and I are sitting on the couch. She's at one end, I'm at the other. And
the story is so spooky.
Yeah, so she last I knew was sleeping, had fallen asleep. So I'm sitting in the corner of the other couch. When you're teenagers and you both sleep on one end of the couch and your feet.
Oh yeah.
You have your legs on the inside, them on the outside.
Yeah.
So
uncomfortable.
And you're sharing a blanket, which was the thing you did back in the day. So this specific situation didn't work out too well for me because it was like, okay, I'm thinking she's sleeping and I just get the weirdest feeling, like a creepy crawly someone's watching feeling,
like the hairs on your neck
are up. Yeah. So it's
such a gross feeling.
Now let me explain like the layout. So I'm on the couch, and if I look to my right, there's like a dining room. So I'm looking in the dining room, and I'm kind of just scoping the room out. I start turning my head a little left, and I see the kitchen entry. And then I keep going straight, and in front of me is the TV. And then I keep going a little farther, and then there's the entry to the front door and the stairs that go upstairs. And I go all the way to the left to where Lucy's at the other end of the couch. This bitch is staring at me.
Oh,
straight up staring at me. No expression.
So
she had such a scary, sinister, weird look. Something I just never. So I go, hey. No response. I'm like, Lucy. Obviously, that's not her name. No response. And I'm like, hello.
Ugh.
Nothing. So I'm
gross.
Literally just looking at her. I'm telling you, and I know it probably doesn't sound long, but probably like a minute and some.
That is a long time, though. It's like you count that and just like stare at the wall or something. 2, it's creepy.
3. Yeah.
I mean, so scary.
So for that amount of time, I'm just like, at first staring at her and then realizing this is so uncomfortable. And I'm like, she's not blinking. I mean, she probably did. My, teenage mind was probably thinking.
No, she probably didn't, though.
Oh my God.
Because she's, my God. I guarantee you.
Creepy.
She was zoned out.
Yeah. So I look and, I slowly look away and kind of corner my eye her. Like, let me see. She's still looking at me. So for over about a minute. Next thing you know, she just closes her eyes and kind of lays back down. She wasn't like sitting up. I can't explain it.
I would have punched her. It's so scary.
Oh my God. So I literally straight up, because I was so scared. And you guys, listen, you guys are all going to freaking relate, because if you don't, then then I don't know what you are. I didn't want to move my fucking legs at all. I
know, like jello legs.
Yeah, like I was like, if I move my legs, this demon's gonna jump out of her body and eat my bottom half. I don't know.
Fight or flight. Fight, flight, or freeze.
I froze. I literally was like, oh shit. No way. Don't move your legs. You're gonna wake her up. She's a demon. She's a monster. She's something bad. So what did I do? I was sitting up. Like, think about it. You're at like the corner. I'm not facing like the TV. I'm like sitting and kind of looking to my right at the TV,
trying to ignore.
Yes. So then I'm like, all right, well, I'm not moving a muscle, so I'm just gonna kind of lean my body left onto the back of the couch where your back's supposed to go. And I, didn't even move the blankets.
I was gonna say, was the plan just to sleep like that?
Oh, it was, don't move a muscle or you're dead. That's what I felt. So yeah, so I fall asleep and I wake up and she's no longer at the couch. It's morning now. She's not on the couch, I mean. And so I wake up and I'm like, where the heck is Lucy? Like, I hear, my Aunt Chris in the kitchen and some talking. So I get up and I go in the kitchen and I'm like, do you remember last night? Like, confused. Like, she goes, no. Like, like, what are you talking about?
What the hell are you saying right now?
I go, okay, so, dude, you did this. Blah. What I just told you guys. So she looks at me and she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, no, wide awake.
I would have been scared if I was her.
Listen, she was terrified.
I would have been so scared if that was me.
She was terrified. She was like,
straight to church.
Yeah, straight to church. Straight to church. Yeah, she was like, no, I'm like, do you sleepwalk? She's like, not like, I don't think so. Well, I'll tell you. My aunt just kind of looked at me and just kind of shook her head like, that doesn't shock me. And I can see by her face, like, oh.
I wonder how many times it's happened in her house.
Right? Do you remember the time when, back years ago when Grandma and Grandpa were alive and our aunts were there and our cousin, Al, I'll say, was upstairs, well, the family thought she was upstairs, getting dressed, whatever. She came down the stairs and walked past, literally, it was my grandmother, my grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and it was our uncle, our aunt, yours, yeah. Yeah, it was on my...
Wait, why did I whisper that?
I don't know.
Aunt Chris lived there, right, when that happened?
Yes,
okay.
She lived there, I believe, maybe she didn't. No, I don't think she did.
I don't know. Either
no,
way,
it was Uncle Jay, and it was Al who was upstairs. And they were just watching TV, doing whatever. And she came down the stairs, walked past them, and our cousin Al, and walked past them through the living room to the kitchen, and then they just kind of hung out there. And they realized, like, 5 minutes or 10 minutes passed, and she didn't come, like, back. Normally, she was going to get something to eat or, to come back. And they're like, hey, blank, like, what are you doing? What are you calling her name? And they hear her respond upstairs.
Oh,
and so my uncle stands at the bottom of the stairs, and it's his daughter. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? And she said, I'm in the bath. And he said, what? And then he looks at everyone, and they're like, no freaking way. We all saw the same thing. And so when she gets done and she comes down the stairs,
from the same direction she already came from once,
wearing exactly what they saw her
weird.
Wearing. So I don't know,
there's a lot of things like that have happened in this house too.
Yes,
our house.
A lot. It's like with our father.
Oh my God, I've seen Dad without seeing Dad when he made us our bedroom in the attic.
Oh my God, that's the creepiest.
Poop Ghoul and I saw Dad, and had a conversation with him once in the same house too.
It's creepy.
It's awful.
Creepy.
No, it's so scary.
The story that you guys have when you were sleeping upstairs in the
it's
made apartment in the attic.
I know. My dad made me an apartment in the attic because when Poop Ghoul and I were younger, we couldn't afford our apartment, so we had to move home when he made us room in the attic. One.
But then he also supposedly sat in a creepy chair in the dark.
No, he did. So listen, should I tell everybody?
Yeah, you can tell them the story. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, we're new to this.
Delete that. Oh. No, so we were sleeping in our homemade bedroom, apartment, attic room, and I woke up and it was like 2:30 or something, close to 3, which is the weird hour, but it wasn't 3. It was like 2:30. And I saw Dad sitting in like the living room part of the apartment.
No.
In the chair, in that funky, remember that orange and like hot pink chair?
Oh, yeah, it was like, wasn't it like one of those folded?
Almost like tent kind of chair, but velvet. And he was sitting in there.
It's like in a disco type room.
Yeah, and we had a lock on the door in the attic, so I knew it wasn't Dad.
Oh,
so I laid down, went back to sleep, and then the next morning when we woke up, Poop was like, she goes, did you anything weird at all last night? And I was like, actually, yeah. And she goes, me too. And then she told me the same fucking thing, the same exact story. Yeah. The same story. We both saw him.
No, that scares me.
No, it's so, it's so scary.
No, that's freaking creepy. Yeah, we have a lot of stories in the house. So, I mean, we have a lot of things we could talk about, but we're not going to sit here for 5 to 7 hours.
No, I know. We could just keep going.
We're just literally doing this so you guys have a little bit of us, put into the podcast. Where we're coming from, why, we decided to do it. We're just really big.
It's really fun.
Yeah, we're just really big horror fanatics and Halloween fanatics. We'll get into that a little bit too. So, yes, we are literally obsessed with Halloween.
Best holiday.
I do Halloween makeups.
Literally, she does like she could be in a movie though. It's great. I tell everybody. I'm not kidding. We were just telling her dad and his girlfriend at camp the other day about your Halloween makeup.
Dude, literally, my Halloween.
So much money.
I know, right? I could.
Really, I'm not kidding. Like they need to know.
It's so fun. Literally, let me just say, I don't want to say every, because to my own horn, but no, not every. Last Halloween didn't work out that well. Actually, no. Yeah, this Halloween did.
Yeah, wait, I thought it did.
Yes, not last. The one prior to that. I didn't like build a dragon costume, so I couldn't win. Sorry, I had to say that.
That was more about robotics than makeup.
I do like face paintings. I make my own prosthetics.
SFX.
I do beautiful SFX.
That's what it is, right?
I believe. Yeah.
FX.
Special effects. Yeah.
Okay. No, you're okay. Yep.
So, but I actually, my Instagram page is ghoulygonzo23. If you want to check that makeup out, follow me. If you aren't following us either on anything yet, we do have an Instagram, Sinister Ghouls Podcast. We also have a Facebook group right now. It's private, so you kind of have to, be approved. But everyone will be approved. I don't have a problem. So
As long as you're not
a jerk,
a dickhead.
yeah,
A jerk.
If you're gonna be that way, you're gonna be removed because I don't really,
No.
I don't like that. And if people have opinions and want to talk, and I mean, I'm gonna approve everything that goes on it. So
Unless you're like a funny asshole who's not meaning too much
I
harm.
love funny
like
assholes.
a wise ass.
Yeah.
Not like an actual dick
Listen,
face,
I'm
though.
big into wise asses. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, so I do Halloween makeups, obsessed with it every year. We decorate our house like crazy. Like we grew up, my father always was like the Halloween house in town.
Yeah. We get kids every year that come up and with their parents that are like, they've been waiting all summer for it to be Halloween to come to the house.
Yep.
He does such a great job, Dad.
He really does. He is amazing.
We help bring the decorations out, but he does it.
I help bring the spirit of Halloween.
No, you do though.
Big time.
Oh, bigger?
I decorate, Dad.
I've got some ideas involving chicken wire.
And you should take
It's true.
I have some big ideas involving chicken.
No, like ghosts and shit.
This is our life. Listen, we have a fun time together.
Yeah, I come up with about 397 Halloween costumes a year and don't ever wear any of them. But this year, I'm going to because she's back and there's a party.
And I'm going to have a Halloween party. Yeah. It's not going to be as big as my old ones because I don't live in.
No, but it's
I don't live where she lives right now.
No. Oh yeah, and I only like my sister and parents there. I don't want friends over.
Right now, since we love Halloween, I'm gonna tell you guys quickly that our podcast is actually going to be not just paranormal. I know we're talking about paranormal things
it's right now. Our favorite subject.
Yeah, big time. But we do love true crime. We are big into true crime.
That's all we watch.
Absolutely. True crime, or scary movies, or scary documentaries.
I know, which I don't know why, because it just gives me anxiety.
Right.
But good anxiety. It's controlled.
Yes. See, and I when I have anxiety, yeah. So, so this podcast is going to be, 1 week is going to be paranormal. The next week will be a true crime. Then the next week, depending, it will either be paranormal again and true crime, it'll just go like that. But we will have bonus episodes, which will be, like haunted locations, haunted places.
Eventually, too, don't you want to do like one of listener stories?
Yes, a lot of podcasts.
Eventually.
Yes, a lot of podcasts that I really like. And I have a lot of them. I'll tell you guys a couple at the end so you can find them and just listen to them. They're funny. Funny as shit, I'll tell you. They're like comedy, paranormal, true crime. I mean, kind of, I guess like
everything.
Us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're really funny. We're not that funny yet. We might be.
I think we're hysterical. I don't know. If no one else thinks we are, I think we are.
It only matters what Mom thinks.
That's so true, though.
Okay.
She thinks we are.
Of course she loves it. Anyways, okay. So we're also going to be doing, like she had just brought up, a lot of people do listener stories. So what I'm going to call them are going to be called Wicked Tales. So if any of you have any creepy stories, something haunted.
I'm sure people, I mean, everybody's had to have experienced something.
I mean, it could be odd. It could be weird. It could be ominous. It could be true crime. You could have witnessed a murder. I don't know. Anything you want to tell us.
Yeah, that would be scary to hear about.
Yeah, so our email is sinisterghoul23@gmail.com. It's not Sinister Ghouls. It's just Sinister Ghoul. Yeah, just sinisterghoul23@gmail.com. Send us any of your tales and we will read them on our one of our episodes, one of our, bonus ones. But let me give you a heads up, since I'm obsessed with podcasts. Right now, we will have a lot of space for people to get their stories in. Sometimes within a few months, we might not even be able to read all of the ones we end up getting.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So get it in if you want. Only through that email, sinisterghoul23@gmail.com, because, that's where I'm going to be checking. Not
That's
Facebook, not
headquarters.
Instagram. Yes. Not Instagram, DMs, none of that.
No.
Because it really is only Jojo Ghoul and myself that are, kind of going through that right now. So that's the gist. So we're gonna get into some of my sister's stories. She's got a pretty creepy one that she'll tell you guys, and then I'll tell you another one, and we will kind of end our podcast, our first podcast. So you have
That's
our
pretty
intro.
good.
All
And
right.
if anyone wants to have a cocktail, we are having
Barefoot Pink Moscato. I mean, it should be like Bloody Foot, something,
bloody barefoot Moscato.
Ew, bare feet. I hate
No,
feet.
I hate feet. So I hate that there's a foot on the.
I know. Listen, barefoot, do something different with your picture, because
that's the name barefoot.
I know.
It's gross.
But you can see the toes on it.
No, it's awful, and that is why I drink Michelob Ultra.
Yes, we're just doing
the infamous lesbian beer.
So we are literally just having some drinks, doing this podcast, enjoying our time. But I plan to try to theme our drinks down the road with certain episodes. So it will be fun, and I'll let you know what drinks we're going to be drinking, and you can check them out. I'll tell you what they taste like.
Oh, like put the recipes up too.
And that'll be fun.
Oh, we'll have to come up with like a special.
And if any of you have any cool ideas on yummy drinks that are creepy, tell us.
I love that. Boom.
Oh my gosh.
It's my
okay.
favorite.
So So yes, Jojo Ghoul's gonna get into her stories.
Yeah, I don't know. Where should I go? Well, we were talking about
Dad
seeing a person or hearing a person who you think is there, and then you find out they're not.
Yep.
So that, and I said the thing about Dad in the attic. So I saw my dad too.
Oh my god.
I remember this. When I was in high school and I was going out with my friends. I don't remember where I was going, somewhere stupid. But I went in the house and into the kitchen to let my dad know I was leaving, and he was in there. And I just said, Dad, I'm going with whoever, my friends. And he didn't say anything, and he looked pissed. I'm like, well, that's weird, because my dad would not just ignore me if I'm leaving, but whatever, he must be in a mood. So I go to leave the kitchen, and he's right behind me, walking right there behind me. And I'm like, oh, he's being so weird. Like, I don't know, it's just fucking weird. And I went out on the front porch, and my friends were out there, and I said, oh my God, I think my dad's in a shit mood or something, because this is what just happened.
Yeah.
And they both looked at me, just like, what are you talking about? And I was like, my dad, I think he's pissed. And they said,
wait, I think I was on the porch.
Were you out there too? You might have. It was
yes.
E and I think A.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I think it was them. But they're like, what are you talking about? And I said, I just went and let my dad know we were leaving.
Yeah.
And they go, you're fucking crazy, because your father has been across the street working on the motorcycle.
I was there. Absolutely.
You were there for that. And remember, I just
went white,
drained of color, because I was like,
he was across the street working on the freaking car.
He was never
truck.
in the house. And I saw him there, clear as day.
Yeah.
Talked to him. And then he just was not there, though. Like, I still, even right now, I think about it, and it makes me like
listen,
sick.
it's like energies or residual energies, or a lot of people want to know what they are. Like, do people believe demons? No, obviously a demon is a demon, like ghosts, spirits. Like, people want the definition of all of those and don't understand them. But we'll kind of break those down the next episode. If you want definitions on what those are, I'll break them down for you next time. But it's like residual. Like, Mom, I think, heard one time when she was doing her makeup, Dad came in and yelled.
She was in the attic. She was working out. So, okay, and our house, it's a duplex, so it's super huge. Like, you got to try and picture. It's like bigger than your average house. So it's big. Our attic, it's huge. So, and part of the attic he built, I said it earlier. So our attic is huge, and my father had built Poop and I, my wife and I, a apartment in there. But it's so big that he also had a workout room built for my mother.
Yes.
And then the other side is just like stuff.
Yeah.
But so my mother was in the workout area of the attic, so 3 flights up.
Yep.
And my dad was working, and she heard him yell,
I'm home, or something.
Yeah, honey, I'm home, something. Just
sound like Lucy.
Her name, I'm home. Yeah, he's like classic family. But and she yelled, okay. I remember she came over, or no, I lived there still, I
Mhm.
think. And she
I think
told
you were
me,
still there, yeah.
I think I was out, and then she told me when I came home.
Yeah.
Or something called, I can't remember, but she was freaked out because she heard him and he was still at work.
Oh
He was not, I don't think he came home for hours.
No, that's creepy. All of it. Nope. That's creepy.
It's so weird.
That's like the residual, like, because he comes home and says that.
Mhm.
So, like, that's the residual, you know, like residual hauntings and
I don't
things,
know.
you know?
Well, you know, like Poop just asked, you guys can't hear because she's in the background, but she wonders why it's Dad's like energy that goes around. But I
Yeah.
think it's because he's so powerful and he's like
Yes.
such a strong presence
Mhm.
that it mimics
Yes.
him. And the story for next episode,
Yeah.
I think happened because Dad and Mom were not home.
Oh, yeah.
For
They
a
were
while.
on vacation.
So it was
Mhm.
like the house acts up.
Oh, it's a story, y'all. You don't even know.
Yeah,
Be ready.
it's super.
Yeah, it's scary. But no, I agree. I feel like Dad is like, he's not scared. Like, let's put this out there.
No,
Our
he's
father
not.
is not scared.
I've only ever seen him get nervous a couple of times.
Was it when you were in my bedroom giggling and supposed to be out in the tent sleeping?
Yes, that time and the one for the next episode.
Yes.
When he came.
Yes.
When you were there too when they came home.
He's the type of guy that will, for example, where Jojo Ghoul lives right now, I lived for a while. And there was a scenario that went down there where something happened in one of the upstairs bedrooms. And he literally went up there, closed the door, put himself in the room and closed the door and was like in there for 10 minutes. And he came out and was like, no, like pretty much said what he wanted to say. He's just not scared. Now we're scared.
You know what though? He's got a point because ever since I do what he says when he's like, you just
put him in
there and tell him, I do it. She does it too, and I mean, I feel like things do kind of respect you. It's not stopped.
They like some. It depends on what type of haunting or residual or spirit.
Like
or whatever.
sometimes it's. I think that our house is a like a portal. I think our house is a portal, and I think things pass through. So sometimes it's like nothing, and then other times you just feel awful.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there are like friends that have witnessed things at the house, you know.
Poop, the first time she ever stayed over. My wife, the first night she ever slept over, I was in my sister's house here. I was sleeping next door at your house. She lived where I live now, but it's getting confusing.
Yeah.
But she didn't believe in ghosts, and she came over. We watched a movie. Remember her and I fell asleep on the floor.
Yeah.
And then she got up, went home the next morning, and then had 3, remember the giant scratches down her stomach?
Yeah.
And she asked me, she's like, did you scratch me? I was like, why the fuck would I scratch you? It's the first time you ever slept over. No. Yeah. And no funny business or anything like that. Nothing. We just watched TV and fell asleep.
No funny business.
Well, that's like there was nothing to have caused these scratch. They went from literally her ribs down past her belly.
I remember
button.
that. Yeah. I
remember? And
that.
You weren't a believer. And you thought I was nuts. Even after that, it took her a minute.
She believes now, doesn't she?
She's probably.
What do you call her? Poo poo ghoul?
She's poo poo ghoul. I call her
poo ghoul.
I don't know.
Poop ghoul.
I call her Poopy. She's my little poopy pants.
Oh, how romantic, you guys. What a piglet. Anyways. Oh yeah, so whatever. So yeah, that's our dad. Yeah. He's a tough Viking tattooed motorcycle. We're gonna use his music for our podcast. He was in a band years ago. I don't know if I can really say the name. But he was the lead singer, sings amazing. Back in when I was like
90s? Like early 90s.
Yes, early 90s.
I was like 2.
Yeah, right? It was early 90s and he was the lead singer and they were heavy. They were, metal. He's big, he's big into Queensryche, Manowar, Nevermore, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, stuff like that. But his music was just awesome. So, but we're really just doing it for fun and family and friends who enjoy what we're doing.
I mean, it's fun for us. That's really...
Absolutely. We're just hanging out, drinking, and talking about some scary shit. But Jojo Ghoul is gonna tell you a creepy story for when she was a little girl. So get ready.
Oh, okay. When I had the canopy. Yeah, that's right.
I was what, like 15? I remember.
I was 8. So you're.
Yeah, I was 15.
You did that math so quick.
That's because I'm smart. But listen, I can't do it on paper, so I'll fail.
Okay, so when I was 8.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, 8. I had in my bedroom. We have 3 bedrooms in our house. There was my sister's room down this long hallway, all the bedrooms. My sister's room here, my room, and then my parents' room, all in a line. And mine was in the middle.
If you hear my wine, that's just me pouring.
I personally think it sounds really nice.
It's not pee, you guys.
So anyway, yeah, I had a canopy bed in my bedroom, but curtains weren't dark enough for me. I like to sleep in the pitch black. I still do. So I hung my comforters over the canopy so it would be pitch black for me at night.
It's like a fort.
Yeah, and I just left them up. It was so cozy. It was so cozy.
Yeah.
And then after this, I never slept in my room.
But oh my God.
Remember, I slept in yours or mom and dad's after this.
Yep, I do.
So I don't remember what I was doing. I feel like I was looking through laundry or my drawers or something in my bedroom, and the comforters were up. I was getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
And I started to hear whispering in my canopy, on my bed, 2 little kids.
Ugh.
And I stopped and I just looked at the comforters and I was like, what the fuck's going on? I mean, I didn't say what the fuck.
She was,
I was
little.
8, but I'll never forget it though, because it was so, and I don't remember shit from
Mm-hmm.
childhood. Like I can't remember anything for some reason, but I remember this so specific, these
Ugh.
voices. And when I had stopped and looked at my bed, I heard it. I heard one of them say, shh, she's listening. And that was it. I fucking took off. I went into mom's room.
No.
I cried. I was terrified.
Oh,
No, that was
shit.
me to mom because I was losing my mind because it was so fucking scary. And I didn't sleep in there again at all.
Yeah.
I slept in your room or I slept in mom and dad's room literally till you got an apartment, and then I moved my bedroom into yours.
Yes, she ended up moving her room into my bedroom.
And yeah.
Didn't Dad paint like a thing on the wall?
A protection symbol.
Yes,
he Googled, or no, he didn't. No, he might have Googled, but it was like a Viking symbol of protection.
Yeah, my dad's we're very into the medieval times, Renaissance times, Vikings. Like, we love all of that stuff.
Anything fun, really. That stuff's the best, right?
Well, yeah.
Is it not fun for most people? Wait.
I don't know. People that aren't cool.
Maybe medieval times, people are like, it was depressing. Most people were peasants. But
yeah, but listen.
I would have had
medieval
fun.
times. You ever go there to eat and watch the freaking
Oh my God, I love medieval times.
Oh, yep. I like the knights. They're pretty badass.
Black and white, always.
We always cheer. Actually, I don't mind the blue.
I like the blue knight. I wish there was a purple.
The black and white knight always had.
It's the colors are
listen, it's not their skin color. Let's be pretty honest
here.
Oh
no, the teams.
It's the colors of the team. There's like yellow and black, yellow or blue and red and yellow.
I forget. Not everybody knows.
Yeah, so black and
is.
white is the color of this team. Like we wear black and white hat, crown, whatever, and they always had long hair. Now I love.
She loved the knights.
The knights with the long hair.
See, that's another time I should have known. I'm gay. I never cared about the knights. I didn't give.
She likes poo poo goo. I can't poo poo. Anyway, but yeah, no, she. I remember because she went into my mom's room, and I remember mom and dad turning on the lights and being. I didn't know what was going on, but I got out of my room, walked down the hallway, came, walking in, and Jojo Girl was like literally just sitting on the bed, crying. It was really sad.
It was so scary.
She was so little. Listen, one thing I'll say about my sister is she's not like a fabricator, fibber.
No,
she wasn't like that at all. Not that I am either.
No, she's not.
We're pretty.
No, but they're just
very
I'm
honest.
not gonna make that up for and not sleep in my room that I loved so
literally,
much. I loved my bedroom.
I mean, it was the coolest setup.
It was so cozy and comfortable, and I loved it.
Yep. So yeah, so that was really terrifying for her, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Honestly, all of these things, and Dad and Mom did another thing, and walked through the house, and I was like 15. What did I say? 15, and I was like, what the heck? I mean, I was scared, but I went through some stuff in that house too. Like,
oh my God, yeah, you still have you have a story that we still like. Won't say the name of the thing,
the specific thing.
No, we won't say it on here either because it brings bad.
Yeah, it doesn't. It brings negative to me sometimes. Like, I have bad experiences if I bring it up or talk about it. Not sure what it really is. But I don't really need any extra stress or negativity right now at all, No. I don't think anyone needs that at any point, but this specific story will be kept to myself. It's not even going to go in my novel I'm writing, which heads up. I'm writing a horror novel based on real events. I mean, it will be loosely based.
I would say, what would you call that? Like,
I don't really know because it's
Fiction fact.
I know, like,
Can you make it up?
I know. I'm gonna make up
Based
my
on a
own
true
one.
story.
Yeah, it's like what it's gonna be like is there's gonna be true incidences, like true things that have happened that's gonna be put in the book.
Names
But
and
I'm
places
gonna
have been changed.
yes, names and places for sure. I'm going to pretty much fabricate certain parts to make it a story. You know, put it all together and make it a book. So it's fun to read from beginning to end.
I'm so excited to read it.
Yes. So I'm not going to give the name of it or anything yet. I'm only 3 chapters in right now.
Brand new production.
Yes, and I think I'm only going to get it published for now on Amazon when it's, you know, all done. But
that's where I buy all my, and I read a lot. I
Mhm.
buy all my books from Amazon.
Yes, and listen, I love scary shit, so I'm going to try to scare people, but I'm also going to try to connect to, you know, like people, you know, between the ages of teenagers to adults. So it'll be like something everybody can read.
Right.
But
young adult.
yes. So yeah, young adult. I mean, even older. But it's going to be more of a down the road type of thing because I'm focusing more on the podcast right now since we just started it. But so yeah, so I'm working on that. And I do want to say I have one more story. So our mother one night years ago when we had our cute little Cocker Spaniel, we named her Lady. Lady.
I miss her.
Now my bedroom was obviously down at the end of the hall by the bathroom.
First
in the top
room
of the
at the top of the stairs.
Yes, yeah. So my mother one night, you know, gets up, looks, you know, through her bedroom door down the hall.
I was in the bathtub. That's why I was in the
I was in my bedroom.
You were in your room, yeah.
So,
and our bathtub is right next to where her room was.
Yes, like literally, I opened my bedroom door and the bathroom's right there.
Best room in the house.
Yep. So, she was in the bathtub, and my mom, I guess, when I was in my bedroom, she said she looked out her bedroom door and she thought that Lady, our Cocker Spaniel, was sitting at the top of the stairs. Now, the only thing shining for light was from the bathroom door.
And it was just cracked because I was in there taking a bath.
Yeah, so there was just a tiny cracked light, like, coming through. So she looks and she saw, like, furry, you know,
she said it was, like, furry.
Yes, and she was like, you know, Lady? And she said it a couple times. And then she looked, and Lady was next to her standing. So she screamed, and I heard it. I was in the bedroom.
Said, What is that?
And then all we heard, no joke, it was like 8 extremely heavy, loud booms down the stairs, through our dining room, or I guess it's our living room right now, through the kitchen, and like towards the back door.
It went out the back. The back door was open.
Yes, but we didn't know that yet. So,
that's right.
But we only heard like 8. There was only 8 loud booms. So what the fuck, right? Like,
see, what's crazy, I didn't hear it at all, and I was just in the bathroom right there.
I did, and I didn't know what. I only heard the first few because I obviously teenager. I'm so cool, blaring my music, you know, whatever.
In your room with the bedroom door shut, like always.
Yep, as always, probably watching something creepy. So I know, right? Probably like The Unnameable or something.
Oh my god, I love The Unnameable.
Which, by the way, is a great movie. If you haven't watched it, it's called The Unnameable.
Super cheesy,
cheesy 80s,
but the best,
number 1. So, anyways, so so we heard 8. I think it was 8 to 10 booms. Let's be realistic. I'm not sure, but let's say, what the fuck was it? Like, what was that? You know,
I always said to Mom, like, what I pictured after she told me.
I think after you said it, I came up with
someone laying flat, like on their stomach on the stairs, so the back of their head was what Mom saw, and that's why it had hair.
Oh, and what she had mentioned was it was like kind of moving.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
Swaying.
Oh, that's what and I was like, if someone's head like rolling back. And then that scared the shit out of her. It scared the shit out of me. I really hope it wasn't that.
Listen, after JoJo brought that up, right? I literally sat and was picturing it, giving myself like,
isn't it terrifying?
Creepy crawlies. And then I pictured, and if I never told you, I'm going to tell you now.
I think you did, but I can't remember.
A guy, because I was like, okay, let's say it's a guy, like, and you know,
I remember.
And I said, but how is he running like a 400-pound, you know, fat being, or I don't know what it could be, big ass thing that ran with 8 to 9 steps through our house, out our back door, like through the kitchen, down the stairs. And then I thought, if he's on his stomach, that's hard to do. So I said, What if he was sitting on the step and laying
Watching
back
her.
and looking at my mom?
That's right. Yeah.
And, his hair was still coming through the light because you could still see it, kind of looking at her, kind of trying to look around like
so scary.
The staircase thing. Yeah. And then she said something and it scared him, and he was already halfway down the stairs. So, if you're thinking of a grown-ass man laying on the stairs facing you.
It makes me want to shit my pants. And it's all I feel, though. It's like...
Listen, I get it, though.
Makes my ass hurt.
Yeah.
And I can't explain
Pucker. Let's say he's laying there, and he just, jumps down one step. Let's say it's the bottom step. He jumps again. Another step. There's 2. He's not midway through the living room. 3 steps past midway.
So crazy.
It could make sense.
I mean, people are fucking tall and their legs are long.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen,
not mine.
Oh no,
our legs are not.
No, I'm a hobbit.
Oh, JoJo goes a hobbit. I'm only 3 inches taller, and I love how
I
her
feel like
and
you're super tall.
my mom think I'm like this.
I really feel like you're
supermodel
tall.
height. Yeah,
I think so, but.
In next episode, we're gonna read little ghost stories out of our yearly calendar that we have every episode, just for fun. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say full moon. But anyways,
not be.
Yeah. So anyway, where were we? What were we just talking about?
Tomorrow is a full moon.
Oh, I told you I heard the wolves beckoning.
Wait, how weird is it?
Is that how you say it? Wolves beckoning?
Yeah.
Do they beckon? What's beckon mean?
Beckon means to like come here.
Come here.
Come over here.
This is for Tina. Come here.
Tina. Wait, I love how we don't use
dedicated her name. To Tina.
We don't use her real name, but that's what we call her anyway.
She's my longtime friend.
Be on an episode?
She would like to be. There's a
really?
few. Yes.
Tina's the best.
Listen, there's going to be a few people that will be on the episode for, just fun episodes.
Poo-poo Ghoul, too.
Yes, she's probably got some stories.
She does, from the house we live in now.
Yes.
When you live there still.
So, yeah, the thing Mom saw. So, after I had brought that up to Mom, she freaked herself out again.
So
and then she was like, we had went down. Ooh, hit the mic. Apologies. We went down the stairs after to see. And whatever it was, the back door was open. So, I mean, if you want to be a paranormal person, like, oh, it was a spirity ghost, whatever.
Well, Dad told her it was probably an animal, and she said, what animal can reach the fucking doorknob? I remember that.
Oh, God, Mom and Dad. They're funny.
They've been together since they were 13, 14 years old.
Yes, and they're 50, 5 and 6? So they've been together forever. And actually, I've been a part of their life since they were 15.
She has.
They had me really young. So my mom and dad are like my best friends, including my sister and my other sister, Poop Ghoul, who's married into the family.
Yes,
and
her
I
sister-in-law. I am not married to my sister.
That's what I was going to say. Listen, I said the other day, isn't it weird? Wait, what did I say? Isn't it weird that my sisters
are married
to somebody just to be a wise ass? And they were like, what? I'm like, no, like my blood sister married her wife, who's now my sister.
She just considers her sister, but we are not related.
Yes. And I'm always like, it's so weird. I have 2 sisters that are married.
Well, it's because we've been together for 15 years. Yes. I mean, it's a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. But so we noticed the door opened, and we were like, now it's really funny because if you've listened to us so far, you know we're about paranormal. Yeah. But in this scenario, I'm about that's a guy.
Listen, I was just going to say, I hope it was a ghost. Because the thought of it being a fucking person.
Yeah.
Is terrifying.
Listen, no one be doing none of that stuff now, because I will fuck someone up. You don't even know. Yeah, literally. Like, like you're, don't do it.
No.
Don't do it. But anyways, so okay, so this is probably going to be the wrap up of us.
Oh my gosh, I could keep going.
I know, it's so fun.
Another episode.
Let's go. No. So I just want to give a shout out. I've been wanting to do a podcast for since COVID.
You've been working on this for so long.
And I didn't think I could do it, oh, I'm a dork, no one's gonna give a crap and give a shit and listen. But when it comes down to it, I really don't care. Like, I love...
No, because it's fun. Who cares what anyone... That's like what I say. Who gives a shit what anyone thinks?
Exactly. And the reason I wanted to do it was because through a lot of, hardships or, staying busy at work or driving, taking long rides, I would drive from Florida and, back to where I'm living now.
And that's
it's
a long ass drive.
Yeah. And, you know, these
Awful.
podcasts like were life saving. And when I would work, I would listen to them. And so I'm going to shout out some of the podcasts that literally specifically inspired me to want to do it. So my number one favorite podcast ever is called And That's Why We Drink.
I knew it. I knew that's your favorite.
And there's host Christine and M. And they're freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
They are, you know, murder, paranormal. They explain what they're drinking or why they're drinking at the beginning of the episode. You know, I think sometimes they don't as much, you know, down the road. But when you start the paranormal or the podcast, that's how it starts.
Yeah.
It's downright terrifying ghost stories and crime. But yes, so true, you know, so and that's why we drink podcast. And another one that I love is Morbid. It's with Elena and Ash. Hilarious. They are sweet. And let me just give a heads up to Em and Christine. They're freaking hilarious. And yes, let's cheers. Cheers to that. I love you guys. So Morbid with Elena and Ash, they're also hilarious. And Elena, I think, has a book out right now, so maybe you should look into that. It's called Morbid, the podcast. It's a true crime, creepy history, comedy, and it's a very well searched podcast. I also love Two Girls and One Ghost.
I love that name.
Yes. It's really funny. I think it's Corinne and Sabrina. It's all things creepy, spooky, and strange. It's also comedy. So there's like a lot. I really like Scared to Death with Dan Cummins and his wife Lindsay. That's kind of like true crime tales, possession, shadow people, more, you know, scary, funny. It's just all of those podcasts really kind of pushed me to, you know, do mine. It's like,
inspiration.
Okay, yeah. It's like, even if it doesn't become anything huge, I'm doing what I love right now and talking about things.
I had a blast.
Yeah. And so we hope you guys enjoyed this. We really just want people to learn about things with us. You know what I mean? Like
and
some
just
paranormal
have some
stories.
fun and
have a drink with us.
Forget about your anxieties and listen to us.
Listen,
talk.
Because mental illness, anxieties, work, stress, children, whatever you have going on, sometimes this can be a good escape.
We all need our outlets.
Yes.
This could be yours.
My outlet just seems to be extremely scary shit and wine or tequila and orange juice. Or just tequila, just in a shot. Yeah. But I can't do that when I'm recording because you won't understand.
Oh my gosh, we should. We have sleepovers sometimes, and one night we're all gonna get super drunk.
We should do a bonus episode and be drunk, and see what you guys think and see what happens. You might get a kick. You might get a kick out of it.
It'll be fun.
Okay, so with that being said, we hope you have a fantastic day
and a good evening. Stay safe.
Stay sexy.
Stay spooky.